What is up, Niner gang? Hope everybody's doing good today. Got a great guest on today, Big Mac Sports. We're going to go ahead and promote his channel as well, especially later on in the show. But we got some breaking news to get to today, guys. Defensive coordinator for the 49ers, Demeco Ryans, is on his way out the building, going to the Texans, guys, signing a 6-year deal with them. The 49ers will be getting their compensatory picks for him, but it's tough, man. It's tough. We should not be talking about an offseason right now. It's very unfortunate. There's going to be a lot of moving parts. This is just step number one in that direction, man. So it's really tough, but we kind of saw it coming. We had a little bit of time to brace ourselves. We know the Texans and Broncos were very interested in Demeco Ryans, and so it's just interesting on the whole thing, man. But Mac, do you have anything you want to say on the Demeco Ryans heading to Texans?
He's gonna go there. He's gonna do a wonderful job over there. Demeco's been a really good coach. 2 years right after Robert Saleh left, and he did an amazing job. Turned Fred Warner into an all-pro linebacker.
Yeah.
Can't say enough good things about a defensive coordinator that we had the number one defense in the league this year. So that all speaks for itself. So he's going to do well over there over in Houston, and wish him the best. And I have my channel is a sports channel, so I'm going to be covering almost every type of sport there is. So
yeah. Yeah, he played over there with the Texans, so he'll be returning. He's had his foot in the door with the Texans for a while, so that was probably part of the decision process and why they really wanted him as well, and vice versa. So I wish him all the best luck, man. It's really hard to see, he had his newfound success so quickly, and now he's just already out the door, man. It's just very frustrating as a fan to see this complete rotation and overturn year in and year out. It's tough, man, but I wish him all the best. We're going to have to see what happens offensively for the Texans, who he's going to bring in for an offensive coordinator. I'm curious to see how that all plays out for him, and best of luck to him, man. He's got a good road ahead of him, I think, man. So
yeah, definitely.
The 49ers, I don't know if you heard about this. The 49ers have requested to interview Steve Wilks of the Panthers for the defensive coordinator position. I know we're talking about Vic Fangio backstage as well. The bullshit rumors that were going around that he was signing with the defense for 3 years. Do you have any thoughts on did you hear about Steve Wilks?
I did hear about Steve Wilks. I don't know much about him. But that defense is good over there too. So one of the hometown kid is playing linebacker for the Panthers, right? For the Panthers. Is that Steve Wilks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he does a good job with their linebackers out there too. So I think if he comes in the building, I think we're going to have a really good DC, and he works well with the linebackers. So
veteran as well, man.
Yeah.
Experience. Yeah, that was one thing when, of course, we were taking a look at the matchup versus the Panthers this year. We weren't worried about their offense. We were worried about their defense, how much they could slow down the 49ers' offense. It didn't pan out too well for them, but overall their defense was still pretty damn good, and it has been for years. There's franchises around the league that kind of tend to build around defense and work their way out from that. It's defense first. Broncos, Panthers, Commanders. Who else? Well, you could say the 49ers, of course, but let's start going through some of the comments real quick. We got Mariah 49 faithfully. What's up? Thank you for the love, man, and everybody go check out 49 Faithfully podcast. I'm not sure exactly when they're doing another show, but they're on pretty consistently. You guys go check them out. What's up, Raphael? Raphael in the house says, "What's up, Niner gang? Wolfcast, Big Mac Sports, and everyone. What's up, man? Thanks for dropping in as always. And please,
Sure.
everybody, like and subscribe. I want to know everybody's thoughts on losing Demeco Ryans and where the 49ers should head from this point out, man. Like I said, Vic Fangio, you know, I'll let Mac talk on that, man, because he brought up something backstage about Vic Fangio. Do you want to touch on that, bro?
Yeah, it's been reported that Vic Fangio is going to go in for an interview. They requested he go in for an interview. So that's just reports that I saw. We don't know. I don't know if it's official, but it's just reports. So it comes through the sports feed and everything on Vic Fangio, and looked like he might be just coming back in and wanting to do another round. And hey,
Yeah.
I'll take that guy.
Hell yeah, man.
Heck, I'll take that. Oh, so just real quick, so Shaq Thompson that plays for the Carolina Panthers, that's one of my brother's best friends. So they grew up together in Del Paso Heights in Sacramento. So, and his older brother, we used to play basketball together. And then I looked up on a screen one day and he's playing for the Denver Broncos. I'm like, what the heck? That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy how things happen.
Yeah, it goes like that sometimes, man.
Yeah.
That's all I was telling Kyle Shanahan is like, man, I'm going to give you my number just in case we have another situation like this where you need somebody to step in at quarterback.
Well, I tweeted Robert Griffin
RG3.
yesterday. RG3. I said, hey, they could have used you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's been out for a while, but still, man, like just some kind of like just anything at that position at that point would have been useful, man, because the 49ers had nothing going for them. And I don't think me and you got to talk too much about it. I know you kind of pulled in at the end of the show when I was streaming about it, but I thought the 49ers should have gone. I mean, I don't even think it's it kind of goes without saying, man. They should have gone 11 on 11, Wildcat, all that type of stuff to just try and pull something out of their ass, I thought.
Well, that's what I told Larry on his show. I said, why didn't they just bring in somebody that's a receiver that can do that job? You know,
Yeah.
We've seen it before with other teams where they brought in a receiver and who if they did their background, I'm sure that some of the receivers that we have on the team used to play quarterback in high school or did some little throws in college. But I mean, Josh Johnson, he was good for what, a year and a half. That was about it. Probably his time. I think it was in Tampa Bay, but he was not prepared for that game at all.
No.
But I mean, at least look for somebody. Heck, you should have just had the punter get in the backfield and run the freaking ball, Wisnowski. So,
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I don't want to risk him getting hurt because we
don't want him to get hurt. Yeah, that's right.
It was pretty obvious we needed a punter pretty bad in that game. That was.
Oh, I mean, at least
He maybe gets the game ball.
Right?
Yeah,
On a fake punt.
Yeah.
Do something. But we just needed I was on a I was just looking through and seeing what these Eagles fans were talking about yesterday, and I came across one of them, and they were like, to tell you the honest truth, if they had a quarterback that could have just thrown 20 yards, they would have won the game. And that was from the Eagles fans. So
That's what I'm saying, man. McCaffrey, like, put him in at quarterback and, directly snap and run it. And then every now and then do a flea flicker or something, anything, man. Like just some backyard football. Like all these guys, they know the formations, right? You just call the formation and just the formation. Everybody line up in the formation. Hey, I'm going to run it or I'm going to pass it. So you guys just get open or some shit. Or run the play how we usually run it with the quarterback, and I'll just be quarterback on this play or something because they all know the plays. So I don't think it would have been that difficult, man. But it would have given us more hope than playing 10 on 11 football in the end for sure. Yeah. Tony Montana brings up a good point. Does he take Aziz with him as well as Jimmy Ward? That's a great question, man. I think it's very plausible. And that's what I'm saying, guys. This is just the beginning of the I don't want to say the end, but it's the beginning of what's not going to be too exciting for 49er fans, guys, is seeing probably a lot of these guys go. He might take Charles Omenihu, Ebukam. The Texans probably have a lot more salary cap over there than the 49ers do at this point.
That's right.
But the 49ers do have a lot of salary cap space still left, so we can still pay some players. It's just going to go to the highest bidder, I think, man. So has yet to be seen, but there is a good chance. You guys brace yourselves for, man. I really hope we can keep. I really hope we can keep Jimmy Ward, man. I'm not too worried about Aziz. It'd be really great to keep him, but Jimmy Ward is somebody that I would really like to keep, man, just because of his coverage. I think you're blessed to have all the great linebackers we have, and we still have guys behind Aziz that can play at an all-pro level as well, at least a Pro Bowl level. So Aziz, I'm willing to let him go. Jimmy Ward, not so much, just because at safety, Tayshaun Gibson might be out the building as well. The 49ers are going to have to figure out who they're going to pay out of those guys. Tayshaun Gibson will be up for contract as well as Jimmy Ward. So we need some veteran savvy back there with Hufanga.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, if you want to read those off, there's just a lot of people that get paid. It's going to, and just like we know that it's so hard to get back to the NFC Championship game, it's not a cakewalk. That doesn't happen, not in the NFL. So there's a lot of things that front office has got to do to be able to work that salary cap and bring in good quality guys. So on a draft one, we'll come back after you read some more of these comments. So
okay. Yeah, because that brings up another topic too about the staff, the facility, what's going to go on here as well, man. Because while we have a question right here, I'm going to get to the other comments. But David McNiner, I don't know if anybody's dropped it in the comments for you yet. Demeco Ryans is heading to the Texans. Signed a 6-year deal with them, guys. So 6 years, Demeco Ryans at least is going to be over there, and maybe we'll return someday. Well, we'll see, man. Rob D'Art says, "Say it ain't so." I wish it weren't true, man. I feel you, man, but it is what it is. And Tony Montana wants to give Demeco Ryans, send him on the plane with Demeco Ryans to Houston for free, sending Josh Johnson. Let me see. Let's see if I could find any other questions.
I thought I saw one on the draft in there.
I know I see one from Pedro Valleja, but I don't see any before that. So, guys, again, as usual, like these guys have done, 4 flames in the comment/question if it's specifically for us. That way we can get to it quicker. We got Jim Everett in here. I see that. Pedro Valleja says, I think that's how you pronounce it. My bad if I'm messing it up. Was GG on Faithfuls? I think they should give Wilkes a chance. We're loaded on defense, and I guess I'll be seeing Demeco here in Texas. Rumor or not, that Lance is to Tennessee, so we can get get Brady. You want to give your thoughts on that, man? Because I'm going to go off on not on Pedro. I'm going to go off on those rumors.
I don't like the Brady talk at all. It's I mean, he's at the end of his lifespan as far as a quarterback goes.
yeah.
You know, and
maybe in general, man.
Yeah, we saw what happened. We saw what happened when he played against a good defense against the 49ers. He didn't have a good welcome home party, to say, right? So I don't like that at all. Let's roll with the quarterbacks we got. You can pick up somebody, a veteran, for cheap to come in. That's just not Josh Johnson. So keep the guy we have right now. Let Trey Lance get out there and show what he can do. And Brock Purdy, when his injury fully heals, then we have 2 good young quarterbacks. There's no need to bring in somebody. And I know a lot of people say, okay, but he can come in for 1 year and go to a Super Bowl. But what happens after that 1 year? I mean, we're talking about longevity here with our quarterback situation. We've had quarterback turmoil since Shanahan got here got players hurt, wrong guys drafted, and I do a morning rant in the mornings, guys. So you guys can come on in there, and I'm just like picking apart all this crap that's happened, But especially with the draft, the McGlinchey draft pick, I just want to just go off real quick on that. If it's off subject, sorry. I
No, you're good. Do whatever
that
you want, man.
that draft pick right there, I was hoping that they would have got Vita Vea in that draft. That was the guy that I wanted. And I was like, I hope a GM have sense enough to pick that guy. He went what 3 picks after McGlinchey was picked, but just imagine having that line right there: Vita Vea, Buckner, Armstead, and Bosa, and then sprinkle in sometimes in there. They would have shored up that Super Bowl in 2019. Crazy what that
Yeah,
could have been,
yeah.
but that was then. That's all gone now.
I feel you, man, and it's gonna be cool to hear your draft topics throughout the off season as well, man, before the draft. So that'll be a fun thing in itself too. Looking forward to that, at least. Looking to see who we pick up, if we move up in the draft, or what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But
Well, I have a guy that I'm wanting them to draft. That's just like Vita Vea. He plays for Baylor. The
okay, so
Ika kid.
you want a right tackle?
No, he's a nose guard, a nose tackle.
Okay.
He's like Vita Vea.
Okay, so you want a defensive
Big.
tackle?
Oh yeah, big boy. Come in there. Kinlaw, you saw what happened on Sunday. He was pushed around there like he was on ice skates. It was like that's what happened. And I don't blame him. The Niners should have known that he's not 100%. And I think
Yeah.
I touched on that subject last week that he's not 100%. His knees are at like 75%. It's really hard to have leverage and sink down and be able to go against 300 pounders on the other side when you're getting double teamed.
Mhm.
It's really hard, especially when you don't have the knees. So uh, that's something that they should have had addressed there. But I think if they brought in another big body guy like Vita Vea, he signed a big contract. But the kid that's coming out of Baylor, that's who we need to go after in a draft. That, in my opinion. Wolf, can I do a plug in for Friday's show real
Yeah.
quick?
Yeah.
So Friday I'm gonna bring on in the show uh Eliza Duyaki. He was a defensive coordinator for BYU, but I was gonna get his insights on upcoming players coming out of college into the NFL. So he'll be on the show on Friday. It's gonna be at evening time, 5 o'clock Mountain Time. So should be 4 o'clock
4 o'clock Pacific.
Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have him on the show, and I just wanted to pick his brain on how he helped develop Fred Warner and the kind of players that we need to look for during the draft, and then things like that. He was just in Vegas to yesterday and today for that East and West Shrine game that's happening on Thursday. But it's and I'm going to start reaching out to a lot more people to come on our shows. If anybody wants to do a collab like how we're doing here with Wolf, I'm just going to go through the whole. I'm just going to reach out to everybody that I know. That's big athletes that we know. So I'm going to start doing that. I know that our YouTube channels are young, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll just pick Grant's Wolf. I guess he was on Grant's show a couple of times, so we'll just need we need to get to his situation where we have that many subscribers, and
Yeah.
so it'd be cool.
Oh yeah, man. I really want to get to do this full time one day. I want to go to the facility, cover the team around the states, travel with them and stuff like that. So that's a goal of mine at some point. But so how do you feel about Kinlaw, man? Because I think if you can get him in here cheap, I think he's on a $5 million per year contract right now. He's due for that extension. I think if you could get him cheap enough, keep him. maybe a 1-year thing with incentives. Like he has to play so many games this year to get those incentives.
Well, the thing about Kinlaw is if he really wants to make an impact, he should sit out a year and
Think so, huh?
just make sure his body is right and everything, heal it up, and then come back and try it out. I think that's what he should do. From what I saw on Sunday, it was I saw a guy that was playing at 80% at best. And that's not a I mean, I'm not doing what Grant was did, that controversy that they had last year. But that's just my take on it. To
Yeah,
come back from an injury like that he has on his knees, he needs to just sit out, rehab the whole thing, and make sure it's right, and then come back. When you come back too early from anything and you try to get out there and play, it just hurts you more. And that's a situation that he should talk about with his family, and hey, talk with the organization. Say, until I feel right, um, I need to do this, and then come back and be able to play at 100%.
like
But
Raheem Mostert, kind of.
yeah, exactly. Raheem, I mean, what did he do? He went and rest. He's like, hey, I
He
gotta
made a
rest. I
decision.
gotta take care of my body. It's my body, my family, um, and my career. And so that's what Kinlaw needs to do. He needs to take a look at that and do it
Um,
something like that.
what's really tough about that situation, man, is I'm sure like he's already scared about being able to, make the bag. That's a big priority of his, and he gets really pissed off if anybody, kind of puts any comments in the way of him getting the bag. So I think he's really scared that he's not relevant enough to be able to step out and be allowed back in. Raheem Mostert, when he did that, he kind of took the league by storm with the 49ers. They
Yep.
went on that playoff run. He comes back, he gets injured, and then he makes a decision to sit out for the rest of the year and have season-ending surgery. So he was very relevant at the time. It was still big news when he went to Miami. So that just proves it. When it comes to Kinlaw, he's like, not to be rude, but he's basically irrelevant when it comes to being relevant around the NFL. So I think he's scared of that, man. So, I wouldn't blame him if he didn't want to do that. But yeah, that is something that you got to kind of take into consideration. But the good thing is during this second stretch of the season, he was able to seemingly stay healthy, even though he wasn't at his best. He was better than he was earlier in the season. So that's good. And he'll have all this time to rest throughout the offseason till OTAs, and then we'll see from there, man.
Yeah. So I actually have one of my good friends, his son, two of his boys. One went to Stanford and the other one went to BYU. The one that went to BYU, he played for Arizona. And he just called up his pops and said, hey, my knee is gone. There's nothing I can do. And his dad just told him, hey, you gotta take care of yourself and your family. So if you can't go anymore, don't do it. If you can rehab and then go back, then do it. But that's where my advice would be to Kinlaw is, get it right, get your knees right, make sure you go and get that all checked out, and just rehab it really good in the off season. So, well,
I feel
that's
you,
something that
man.
we'll see.
Yeah. I want to touch on really the question I asked you earlier on the Tom Brady thing, man, whether Trey Lance goes to the Titans. To me, that would be the stupidest decision in the world. He's your only quarterback that has a chance to play this coming year. Brock Purdy is still up in the air. He might have season-ending surgery. He might not be available till the year after next.
That's right.
So Trey Lance is your only guy right now. He knows the system. He's young. He's cheap. He has high potential as long as Kyle Shanahan can protect him. And that's another conversation I'm about to get into with Kyle Shanahan right now, man. But yeah, just my overall thoughts. If you could get Jimmy Garoppolo, depending on the circumstances, I don't know what his business decision was with whether that's what caused him not to play in this NFC Championship. If that's the case, give him the damn boot. He's the hell out the door. But if Brock Purdy's out for the year, if it's season-ending surgery and Garoppolo doesn't have any great offers, if he doesn't have any offers to be a starting quarterback, which he's probably going to get, he's probably going to go over there to the New York Jets. You know, that having that relationship with Robert Saleh, and I can already think of the nickname for him is going to be Jimmy the Jet Garoppolo.
Well, what if we did this? What if we traded Jimmy well, I don't know. He's going to be a free agent, right?
Yeah, he's a free agent. We can't trade him.
What if he wasn't, and we were able to trade him and bring Wilson in here?
Russell?
No, not Russell Wilson.
If they Zach Wilson? Oh my
God!
I'm
talking about the Wilson kid that's over there right now.
Oh no!
So I'm like, well, you know the thing about quarterbacks is that you gotta be mentally there to be able to survive in this game.
Yeah.
And that Wilson kid going to New York didn't do him any favors at all. So, but
very immature, man.
Yeah, so that didn't do him any favors. The other thing is, if Garoppolo went to the Jets, let's say, what quarterback is out there that we can get? That's a seasoned vet, still mobile, and be able to do what we need to just in case.
Cooper Rush. From the Cowboys back up to Dak Prescott. He filled in for Dak Prescott earlier in the season. He would be somebody who you probably could get on a decent deal that has some experience, can be a very good backup until Brock Purdy shows up. But that's just a really tough situation. Like, do you go out and sign a guy not knowing that Brock Purdy is whether he's going to have season-ending surgery or if he's going to be ready for training camp? Because there's no doubt in my mind that Brock Purdy is basically the number one. Him and Trey Lance, as of right now, are sharing the number one spot until that surgery is determined, until the healing process is kind of set in stone.
Do you know how long before they know when they're going to find out if he's going to have that 6-month surgery, or is it going to go into all of next year?
I don't know if he's gotten his second opinion yet, but I have no idea, man. I don't know. What was I going to say? But regardless, I just really hope he doesn't have complications to top it off, man. Because, we saw it even with Trey Lance. You heard about what happened to Alex Smith, right?
Oh, yeah.
Alex Smith got his infection and all that stuff. Trey Lance even had to undergo the second surgery. So hopefully Brock Purdy doesn't have any setbacks like that. Yeah, man, it's up in the air. So that's why I'm wondering, at that point, do you just go out and draft somebody? Because I know there's some decent looking quarterbacks in the draft as well that are going to fall into later rounds. So do you go after a guy like that to keep the quarterback room cheap? Do you go after somebody with experience? I think you go with somebody with experience, and it's going to cost you some, but it's experience. You get what you pay for.
So who would it be a quarterback that you think coming out of college right now that you would be looking at and say, hey, this guy will fit and be able to do some of the things that Brock Purdy does, and also back up Trey Lance?
I'm not sure
he's not there.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't watch a whole lot of college football, and it's something I'm really going to go back and look through. I'm still in full 49er regular postseason mode right now. I'm in full 49er mode, man. There was one guy I heard about that's kind of like a Jalen Hurts, but I can't remember his name right now. And so he has a similar playing style to like Trey Lance with a little more experience.
Oh, okay.
And so I forget his name right now, but I'm going to go check him out, and I'm going to check a few guys out. I'll have the answers for you guys later on. But like I said, man, I'm still in 49ers postseason mode. We're supposed to be on our way, resting up for the Super Bowl right now.
That's
right. Let me knock out some of the comments real quick, and then we're going to get into a topic that is going to be a little hard to delve into. But Rob D Art says Ward might stay if he can go back to his original position, which is I think what's actually going to happen. I talked about it I think in the last show. I think you sign Mosley, you put him on outside corner, um, and you move Diamador Lenore, who's originally a nickel slot corner as well. Actually, Mosley was too, but he's a little bigger than Lenore, and he's really gotten really good at that outside corner position. So I think you put him back at outside corner, move Lenore inside, which is going to bode better for him. You know, at the catch point, stuff like that. He can body smaller receivers that he'll be covering. Um, and then you put Jimmy Ward back at safety, and Tayshaun Gibson is probably on his way out. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that the move that Demeco is going to Texas, to the Houston, he's going to take a lot of these guys with him because they're familiar faces and they like playing for a coach like that. So I think that he's going to take some of these guys with him, and yeah, moving Jimmy back to his original position, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a veteran. He's really smart. He knows exactly where everybody can go. I mean, you have if him and Talanoa is at safety, the communication level is going to be a lot better. I believe, if they do it that way. So, yeah.
I really like Tayshaun Gibson, man, but Jimmy Ward is still better to me. Tayshaun Gibson is a ball hawk. He's gotten like over 30 interceptions in his career. I think it is now probably like 34 or something like that. I think it's 33. But Jimmy Ward, man, I really think the 49ers kind of shot themselves in the foot. I said this before all this happened, before it all went down. I said it earlier in the season that, hey, man, once Jimmy Ward proves that he can play that slot position as well, that's just going to up his price even more.
A lot more.
Yeah. And then, you know, I don't know if you saw the post-game interview in the locker room. He actually talks about it. He's like, so I play really good slot and I play really good safety.
All around.
So he knows it too, man. That's really he really upped his stock there, really upped his price, his bank account. He's said in the past he's not giving a hometown discount like he did in the past. This time he's going for the bag, man. So that could be a very good indication that he's on his way out and probably to the Texans because, you know, Demeco Ryans and they have that salary cap space they can give him. But if I'm the 49ers, I go Jimmy Ward over Tayshaun Gibson because the veteran savvy, he's the eliminator. He's great in coverage. He doesn't get you as many interceptions, but he still gets you some. And he's just really smart, man. He's been in the system a long time. He helps glue this unit together as a defense, man. He's one of the great leaders on this defense, man. So I would go for Jimmy Ward and Tayshaun Gibson. Go get the bag with the Texans. You can go with Demeco Ryans. I'll miss you.
Go on over there.
Yeah, but I really want Jimmy Ward. Do you feel the same way? Or would you try and get Tayshaun Gibson, who would be cheaper, but I think you'd have a little bit of drop in production when it comes to coverage?
No, we need we need Jimmy Ward to come back. He's got to come back. They upped the salary cap, so they can just they can maneuver things to make that work.
Yeah,
you know? They've done it before, so
there's going to be a lot of maneuvering, guys. Brace yourselves.
Because Nick Bosa got to get paid. Oh, man.
So, Mosley, Omenahu, Samson Ebukam, Jake Brendel. And trust me, guys, there's more, too.
What about Ayuk?
Yeah.
Right.
They might flex him till next year. But I think now's the greatest time to sign him, man. If you're not going to go out and get a Tom Brady, if you're not going to go out and get Aaron Rodgers, now is the best time to get these guys under contract. I think, you know, you got a really cheap quarterback room. Like, this is dirt cheap around the NFL. I think the quarterback room of the 49ers is counting against 1% of their cap space this year, guys. Just to put it in perspective. And a lot of these quarterbacks around the NFL take up around 17% of their cap space. I don't know what the average is, but that's pretty typical, is around 17% just with the quarterback alone. So the 49ers right now have a 1% salary cap space quarterback room right now, guys. So that's crazy right now. You take advantage of that because the quarterbacks we have right now, they're playing like veterans. Even though they are so young, they're playing like veterans. And so, would I like to bring in a veteran like Rodgers or Brady or something? Yeah, that'd be cool, but they're going to be super expensive. It's going to affect the rest of the team. It's going to drop off. Then you're going to have a situation like some of these other teams where they have a super expensive quarterback, Cowboys, and the rest of the team drops off.
Yeah.
I'm not a believer in paying quarterbacks too much, man.
No, because they get injured a lot. I mean, except for Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. But
Especially on the 49ers.
yeah, on this team, we went through 4. So this year. And just having that ability to be able to sign other players to help the team be able to get to their goal. The one thing that happened this year that I didn't like, I was like, man, freak, is it was we just kept on seeing our quarterbacks get injured. Uh, the culprit was that right tackle.
It's always the right side.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's always on the right side, right? They're going to need to address that big time in this offseason. Um, I don't care if it's in the draft or pick up a veteran, but that they got to really address that right side. It's got to happen.
Yeah. I feel you, man. Big time. We'll see if McGlinchey comes back, man. I have a feeling he's going to be back this season. Rob D. Art says Brady and Shanahan both want total control of the offense. There's no way Shanahan gives up any control. Yeah, I don't even I don't even want to delve deep into it like that because it just makes no sense to me whatsoever unless Brady takes a super cheap deal. Like he would have to take definitely no more than 25 million, but I'm looking more at like 20 million a year.
No, you offer him, hey Brady, you want to come home and play at home, or even Rogers, you want to come and play at home. You give a home discount to
Yep.
your team. If you want to play here, we have the window to be able to get you guys another Super Bowl ring. So don't come in demanding $25 million, $15 million. Freak, you got all the money in the world already. Just come in and play and end your career here because you want to be a Niner. So, I mean, that's what I would tell them.
I feel you, man. Yep. I don't know. I don't like it. It's too much money. I like these young guys. Like you said, who was it? Rob said, whoops, that Brady wants control of the offense as well. The two egos not meshing well and stuff like that. But who knows, guys? There's a lot of talk about Kyle Shanahan not coming back next year or this year. Not that they're rumors or anything, but people are talking about whether we should trade or fire Kyle Shanahan. So we'll see. I don't
What do
think
you
it's
think
going to
of that?
happen. No, I think Jed York likes where the franchise is right now, even though it's not the most cheerful thing what just happened, but I think he likes the direction where the franchise has kind of been headed the past few years. In contention every year. I think Jed York is really going to cling on to that, man. And I think there has to be a talk with Kyle Shanahan. Like, hey, man, we're having serious issues here, and you're having these simple coaching mistakes that are costing us championship games. And it's always something different, but it's still the same outcome.
What would be okay? So if you had the scenario of, I'm just putting it out there. If you had the scenario of trading Kyle Shanahan for another coach in the league, kind of like what happened with the Raiders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with John Gruden and what's the name that went to Indianapolis. Well, who would you bring in? What coach?
That's a tough one, man. And I ain't even thinking about that really because, in my opinion, okay, first of all, you don't fire Kyle Shanahan. You trade him because you want to get something for that. And he's still under contract, so he's going to cost some money. So you definitely want to trade him. You want to get rid of that contract. You don't want to have that on the books. Start fresh if that were to happen. Now, in my opinion, I'm not that brash. I'm not going to come out that aggressive. Like, Kyle Shanahan has learned from his mistakes in the past. It takes him a while to get his head out of his ass, but he tends to correct those mistakes. Now, granted, he makes new ones. He always comes up with new mistakes to make. So, I mean, I think part of it is that he continues to surround himself with young coaching. Um, what's that guy? I know there's Bobby Turner, but the assistant head coach, I can't remember, Anthony Lynn.
Yeah.
So Anthony Lynn is a veteran coach. I think that was a great help that he brought in. But I don't know why Anthony Lynn. I feel like he hasn't been helping as much. I think we need more veteran savvy on the coaching staff as well, like Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
So
we need somebody that can come in there and speak their mind and not be dismissed. Is
challenge
what we
him. Yep.
need. Yeah,
Yep.
because a great coach will listen to whoever is helping him and consulting with him, and that's what Kyle Shanahan needs. That I mean, he's being consulted by his dad, by Mike,
Yeah.
but you have your coaching staff that you can consult with, and just I got like 5 minutes left, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to get this off my chest. All right.
Hey,
So
fire off, man. I won't
that
even talk.
that that non-call on Sunday, the first play on Devontae Smith, I know it's been rehashed over and over again, but that was like a rookie mistake because he could have called a timeout. What are you saving all the timeouts for? He only used what, one, and that was in the first half, and that was it. He could have used a timeout there, look at it with his guys, and then made a determination whether if it was uh, if it was a catch or not. But he decided not to do that. So that's one of the things that he did wrong on Sunday. He should have just, when in doubt, call that timeout. Come on, you got to do it. And then the other thing is the Josh Johnson pickup right after we lost Garoppolo. He couldn't find anybody better. I mean, this guy's been in the league a long time, and I know he's Shanahan's guy, but come on, there was a lot of other people he could have picked up. Um, and I don't know if it was him or John Lynch that made that decision on that, but he's got a huge input to what the 49er organization, the players that they bring into the house. So he's got to be able to understand. You don't bring a guy in that for sure he's not going to do well inside of the when he comes into a game. He's not prepared for it, and it really showed on Sunday. That pressure, like he froze. He straight up froze right in there. So some of those things. So if we try to go get a different head coach, I mean, I don't know who we can bring in. All the good head coaches are getting they're getting picked up right now. So we don't know. I would love to see him here, but he's got to be able to change the way he does coaching. Truly needs to do that. And if he does that, then we'll see a few Lombardis before he leaves San Francisco. Or he could be here just as long as Andy Reid was in Philadelphia and now in Kansas City. If he just changes some little things, one thing that you need to do in certain situation is fine tune your game. When players are told that, coaches need to do the same damn thing too to be able to get through. All right.
Yeah.
So,
All right, man. Yeah, I think he
okay,
just needs to get himself a chance to correct his mistakes, man, and we'll see how it plays out. I don't want a situation like Andy Reid where he goes and builds a dynasty somewhere else, and then
exactly.
we have to play against him in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on, bro. We're gonna be on your show, and we're gonna be working me and Big Mac together. We're gonna be back and forth on each other's show, man, and
Sure.
hopefully we could get something consistent that's set weekly show for you guys. But Big Mac, thanks for being here, bro. And I know you have to go, but What's coming up for you next? Do you have anything set in stone? And everybody, please go like and subscribe as it is right there on the screen. That's why I always have my guests' names on the screen. It's Big Mac Sports. Go look it up on YouTube. Please sub him up and coming, man. And he's got some good things coming up.
Yeah, I'll be having a lot of good things coming up. Earlier in the year, I did a wheelbarrow challenge. So if any of you guys want to do that challenge, you can look at that video in my stream. I did one where I did 450 pounds going around for a mile. So if you want to get some get some muscles doing it that way, come in and check it out. Also, this Friday, Wolf and I are going to interview one of Fred Warner's past coaches, Elisha Duyaki. He's trying to get into the NFL too. So that'll be a good stream to come in. And in the mornings, I do a rant about anything that I see on the news. So yeah, just come on in and check it out. So thank you, Wolf, for having me on. And it's been a pleasure.
We'll do this again. Yeah, man. All right, man. Be safe, huh? Take care. All right, guys. Always love having him on. It's really cool that we got introduced recently. So it's pretty cool, man, the way these things work out and the networking and stuff like that. Get to meet some cool people. And guys, really, he's going to have some great people on his show. He knows a lot of people around the league and college and NFL football. So we're going to have some great shows lined up for you guys. Hopefully, I know the off season kind of tends to be boring. You know, it's like we don't have football to look forward to. Off seasons are really long. It feels like an eternity waiting for the next regular season to begin. So with us, we'll be creating that content, keeping you guys entertained throughout the off season, hopefully. And yeah, man, always appreciate you guys being here as well. Let me see. I'm going to go through some of the comments. I know I've had you guys waiting for a long time. I like to give everybody that comes on my show, I like to hear them out fully and not interrupt them too much if I can. And so that typically leads me to fall behind on the comments, guys. So my apologies, but in due fashion, because I want to have respect and time for your guys' comments as well. So Vader says, what's your thoughts on maybe Rodgers coming? I don't like the Tom Brady deal due to his arm strength. I feel you, man. Rodgers is a little more athletic. I think the NFL as a whole, if you want to have success, you want to be able to pass from the pocket and you want to have some mobility as well, some off-script ability, which I don't think Brady has. But Rodgers is due around $40 million this year, guys. So I don't like that. I want to sign all these players. I think the recipe for success is being shown. You know, with the Eagles, look at the Eagles. They're in the championship. They're in the Super Bowl. They have a really great, solid team built around Jalen Hurts, a cheap quarterback, right? He hasn't gotten paid yet. And year in and year out, you're seeing teams have success like this. Great example. The 49ers are the perfect example. Ever since Jimmy Garoppolo's contract has continued to dwindle, the rest of the team has spiked up, guys. So I think we continue with that trend. We'll continue with our cheap quarterbacks. Brady would be the cheaper veteran, but I think you could bring in somebody like maybe a Gardner Minshew. What's that guy he's on the Seahawks right now. And I don't remember his contract. What the hell is his name? I'm forgetting it. Came over from the Broncos. Damn, I'm forgetting his name right now. But just guys like that, guys that are veterans, but they're not going to cost you too much. That's my opinion. But when it comes to abilities, I would prefer Rodgers over Brady. But when it comes to contractually and his demeanor, I prefer Brady. Oh, whoops. Looks like Vic F might be coming. Yeah, man. But the 49ers, they're requesting to see Steve Wilkes from the Panthers as well. So we'll see, man. Vic Fangio has to make a decision who's going to pay him more, but I think he's going to go with Kyle Shanahan, guys. I feel good about Vic Fangio being the coach here. I think he can really, really help fill some voids here with Kyle Shanahan. Now, the thing is, will Kyle Shanahan feel threatened at all, having more veteran coaches on the staff? You know, because if at some point Kyle Shanahan gets fired or traded, Vic Fangio is coming for that job, and or Anthony Lynn. So they might get promoted. Alberto Soto said, would you take a chance on calling up Kaepernick for that third quarterback spot, or Matt Rayon? I don't know who Matt Rayon is, honestly, but I would definitely, I would be super open to Kaepernick coming. He was out there. I think it was actually this year. I don't remember if it was this year or last, but I'm pretty sure it was this one with the Raiders. He worked out for the Raiders, and for whatever reason, that didn't work out. Um, I might even take a look at trying to get Nate Sudfeld back. What's up, Bear Tribe? Says, with Demeco gone, can we expect to still have a top 3 defense next season? Yeah, man. I feel really good about getting Vic Fangio. He's a veteran guy, really good coach, man. So if he comes in and he's going to switch the defense up a little bit, guys. He's going to come in with his scheme, and the defense is going to look different. It's not going to look the same as it did this year. So I think that's going to help overcome some hiccups that maybe the defense has not schematically, but like with the chemistry and having to learn the new system. I think it being a new system and Vic Fangio kind of attacking it in a different way than Demeco Ryans does is going to be like how, a new quarterback or a new head coach takes the league by storm. So I'm still feeling really good about the 49ers being actually the number 1 defense overall next year. But I think top 5 at least. Vader says, what's your thoughts on a right guard? I think Burford's doing really good. I know, he took a little bit of a drop in production towards the end of the year, but I feel really good at him, man. He's going to have another offseason to put some more muscle on and stuff like that. We got guys like Zakel, Jason Poe, who can fill in right there. Brunskill is actually up for contract, guys. I keep forgetting to mention his name. So Daniel Brunskill, the Swiss Army knife of the offensive line, is up for contract. Really curious to see. I think the 49ers are going to be able to bring him back. I think that's going to be a big point of emphasis because the offensive line in general is a big unit of need. And so I think you make Brunskill one of your priority signings, guys. And him, Zakel, Jason Poe, those are guys that can really help us out. I think Burford's going to do good at right guard, even better than he did this year, just because, like I said, another year in the system, another offseason to put on some muscle and get in shape, I think is going to bode really well for him, guys. So I feel good about that. I hope the 49ers attack the draft for some O-line positions. We really need to start prepping for that left tackle spot as well, guys. Whether or not Trent Williams is going to be here for years or not, like regardless, you have to start preparing for that. Start grooming somebody for that position. Rob Diart says, I heard Miami really wanted Vic Fangio and was almost a done deal, but I think VF was waiting to see what happened to Demeco. Yeah, man, it very well looks like that, man. So thanks for bringing that up because a lot of people were saying that was a done deal already. So I guess it was just very close. And he's like, hey, you know what? Demeco is gone. So, hey, let me go to SF real quick and check these guys out, see what they're about. And he already knows because he's been in cahoots with Kyle Shanahan almost to the point where you can find them for tampering. So you want to be careful with that stuff. But I feel really good. I'm telling you guys, man, all the arrows are pointing towards Fangio being a 49er defensive coordinator this coming year, guys. So I feel really good about that. Like, I'm excited for it. And hopefully we don't get let down. I like this comment right here. Tony Montana says, take over Grant's job, Wolf. Nah, man, I'm going to stay in my lane. I got too much respect for that guy. I know he gets a lot of flack, but like I said before, he inspired me to do what I'm doing. I love his takes, man. And maybe me and him are going to be doing a show together, collaborating sometime soon. But no, man, he's got a good thing going over there. It's only growing. It's only growing, guys. It's not declining at all. I remember when he hit 50,000. Now he's at 60,000. Now he's still growing, guys. I think he's at almost 62,000 now. Vader says, do you think Kinlaw should look better in 3-4 or 4 or than a 4-3 if we get Vic F? That's tough. Yeah, man. I think the 49ers are going to throw that wide 9 out the window. So probably. I would assume so. And I think, Kinlaw gets rested up. I think he was kind of rushed back from all the stuff that he was going through this season to try and make a push for the postseason. You want to try and put some good stuff on tape so you could get a contract because this is his contract year. And so I think that's going to be something where he just needs to get back in shape and see if he could come back full health. And then 49ers give him one more year, give him a cheap little deal, maybe $7 million on the year. And I mean, really, can you complain about $7 million when you can barely stay healthy? I don't think so. But Kinlaw in the 3-4, man, is just he just needs it really just comes down to his health at the end of the day. He needs to be able to push those offensive linemen and get their feet off the ground, man. So I don't think it comes off too much of the scheme because he's supposed to be a run stuffer more than a pass rusher, right? So that's really what matters. He just needs to be in shape and ready when it comes to his health. Rob D'Art says Lance said today that he'd be ready to practice in 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, guys, he should be fully cleared, and then he's going to see about what he's going to do in the offseason. Whether he's going to go back down to SoCal and start running those mountains with Brandon Ayuk and stuff like that. So excited to see, outside of the sadness that we had for the season being over, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, guys. We can look forward to what Trey Lance is going to do to get these guys together. Deebo Samuel is under contract now, so there's no speculation on, or not even speculation, but he should be there with Trey Lance working out. Last year, he had the excuse like, hey, I'm not working out with anybody. They can come to me over here on the East Coast if they want to work out. I'm working out my contract stuff, and I got my camp going over here. If they want to work, they can come over here. That diva bullshit he was pulling last offseason, but we'll see what happens this year with these guys. Hopefully we could get Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk might not even work out. He might not work out. He might hold out during this offseason until he gets his contract. So curious about that too. And Vader says, the injury bug hits us every year. What do you think we can do to keep our star players on the field? I think Kyle Shanahan, like I said, man, he needs to get pulled into Jed York's office and have a serious talk like, hey, man, this is your last chance to prove that you can get it done. Like, there is no reason why you should be going through 4 quarterbacks when the rest of the league is only going through maybe 1 or 2, if that, man. So, Kyle Shanahan gets very caught up in the X's and the O's and not the Jimmys and the Joes and the realistic head coaching problems and situations that are presented to you on the field. I feel like Kyle Shanahan takes a huge dip when it comes to that stuff. The overall head coaching job, like he's very young, guys, and he was an offensive coordinator. That's what he was really good at. A lot of times you see him on the sideline, his face is stuck in that play sheet when he should be looking at the field at all times, guys. That's why you have an offensive coordinator. That's why you have defensive coordinators. That's why head coaches aren't typically the ones that should be calling the plays. It should be the offensive coordinator, should be taking care of all that stuff. But Kyle Shanahan wants to have his hand so far into the offense that I think it gets him carried away with that stuff, and he gets caught slipping a lot of times, man. And that's what leads to a lot of the injuries and, schematically not taking into account who he's drawing up to have block certain guys like Hassan Reddick. You're putting Tyler Kroft, which Tyler Kroft is supposed to be a really good blocker. But in my opinion, he's a way better run blocker than a pass blocker for pass protection. So I think that is problem number 1. And you're putting him against one of the best defensive pass rushers in the league. So it's tough, man. You got to take a look at that, Kyle Shanahan, watch the film and see what you got to correct, man. But Jed York as well, hey, put some heat on that seat on the hot seat for Kyle Shanahan. Tom, hey, this is your last year, man. We need a championship. We can't keep doing this every year. I appreciate what you've done. You've kind of pulled us out the gutter. I've given you a chance to grow, but every year it's something different, right? So let me know what you guys think about that. Maybe I'm being harsh. I don't think so. I think I'm actually being one of the more reasonable people because people are already saying he should be fired or traded, guys. King T. Will says, y'all played one hell of a season this year. Hey, man, appreciate it, man. Thanks for not being one of the people that just talk shit. And let me know what fan base you're part of. But yeah, man, we had a great season. We had our eyes on a championship, on the Super Bowl trophy. Rug got pulled out from under us, man. It really sucks. Steve-O Supremo says, I don't want to hear nothing about spying a quarterback. It cost us 2 walk-in touchdowns having Fred spy. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. You got to pick your spots as well. And it's like that's why I said you got to know when to pick your spots. You got to watch the film. I did not want a quarterback spy. I know there was guys that wanted a quarterback spy at all times. I did not think that was the route to go. I said you pick your spots, do it here and there, and when you do it, it's not Fred Warner because he needs to be dropped back in coverage. Your best coverage linebacker is Fred Warner, so that's the guy that needs to be in coverage. And solely focused on the coverage for the most part. I typically bring up Steve-O Supremo's comments without the 4 flames because Steve-O Supremo, as I remembered, is not able to put up the flame emojis in his comments. I think he's on a computer or something. Rick Diaz says, I'm a diehard 49ers fan. Central Montana came in to be a quarterback for the 49ers, and he was a rookie. Man, those must have been some beautiful days, man. The optimism, the excitement, kind of similar to what we've experienced this year with Brock Purdy, I'm sure, man. So that's got to be awesome. I definitely was not alive yet. Randy Daytona, what's up, man? Says, has Russ Wilson really been traded for Sean Payton? I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that. Last I heard, the Broncos really did want to get Sean Payton in there, but it wasn't a trade yet. So let me know. Let me know if you've heard anything more on that. Let me see. Pedro Valleja says, Mr. Lizama, why is it that every time we have a great defensive coach, he has to leave and go someplace else, man? Because of the way the NFL is structured and the 49ers, hey, man, they need to get these guys locked into long-term contracts, guys. Really. The staff of the head coaching staff of the 49ers, guys like Parag Marate, they need to get these guys signed to long-term contract extensions, guys. Demeco Ryans, I think we should have locked him in sooner and not had this be an issue. That way, at least if he goes anywhere, at least he's traded as well. Now, we do get the compensatory picks, but I don't know. It still sucks. Alberto Soto says, look, you got to give it up to Kyle. It's hard to go to the Super Bowl and then 2 NFC championships. If Jimmy hit that pass, he would have gave SF a ring. Yeah, man. But, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is super limited at quarterback, I think. He has his strengths, but he has a lot of weaknesses. We saw it this year. We saw it play out right in front of our eyes. A rookie, Mr. Irrelevant of the year, comes out and outperforms Jimmy Garoppolo, a multi-year veteran of the league. And not only the league, but the 49ers in general, right? He's been in this system for a long time, and you still see the rookie mistakes over and over again, guys. Did a lot better this year, man. How much of that, you attribute to having a way better quarterbacks coach, Brian Griese, but still, he was still limiting the offense at that point. So Kyle Shanahan went with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, which is great, right? I understand he wanted to cling on to somebody who he had success with, but I did think that they paid Garoppolo way too soon. Now, It's tough with the whole having to navigate free agency and stuff like that. But I would have put Garoppolo on a prove it deal if possible, because even we go back to 2017 when Garoppolo had that win streak, 5-0. He brings the 49ers out of the slumps. Those were still very close games. He wasn't having miraculous games where he was just like blowing the lid off these defenses. They were still very close games that came down to the end. So I don't know, man. I feel you partially. Like he's bringing us to the finish line, and then he's just tripping. He's tripping right at the finish line, guys. So, and every year he's tripping in a different form or fashion. Pedro Valleja says, "Do you mean Drew Lock?" Yeah, man. But I believe he's still under contract, so I think the 49ers would have to trade something to get Drew Lock. But I think somebody like him would be cool to bring in. That might be something to look at. Pedro Valleja says, "Is it true that Robbie Gould is leaving us also? Jason Poe was put on a reserve contract list today." Yeah, a lot of those guys, the rookies, were put on reserve today. There was 10 guys in total. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I can check it out real quick. I know Alex Barrett was one of them. I think that's how you pronounce it, Barrett or Barrett. Alex Barrett. Jason Poe. Let me check it out again real quick, guys. Just guys you don't want to let get away from you, slip through the cracks. Promising guys, Alfredo Gutierrez, safety Taylor Hawkins, Keith Ismail. Now this one right here, I like this one. Quantrez Knight. I really like that one. Quantrez Knight looked really promising to me, as well as Big Play Tay Martin. He's on reserve. Daz Newsome, Curtis Robinson, linebacker, and Leroy Watson. He's an offensive lineman. My eye is starting to itch. Okay. Yeah. So as far as Robbie Gould, man, I can definitely see him going. He's up for a contract. He's from Chicago. Even this past year, it was talked about that he might be on his way back to Chicago to either finish out his career and retire as a Chicago Bear in his home state. But we'll see, man. I think he's out the door, man. He's a little old. We've been talking about throughout this season that the 49ers should definitely be keeping an eye out for a new kicker. So we'll see how it plays out, man. But yeah, it is true to answer your question that there's a possibility Robbie Gould could be gone after this year. Macchiano says, "What's up, Wolfcast? You think the defense will be the same after Demeco is gone?" It's going to be the same, but different. I think we're going to have the same when it comes to production, similar when it comes to production, but when it comes to the scheme and the way the defense is called, I think is going to be a little different. The 49ers ran mostly cover 4 this year, which is crazy to me. That's crazy, but I think the 49ers are more favorable when it comes to cover 3 with their athleticism. Cover 4 is like super conservative to me, but I understand why you want to let all the underneath stuff happen and then condense the field on opposing offenses and then finish business with not letting them get into the end zone. So I think we're going to see a lot less conservative play calling this year if Vic Fangio is the defensive coordinator. But Macchiano, and that's another thing when it comes to the defense, we have to find out who our defensive coordinator is going to be this year first and foremost. Hey, we got platform 246. Lawrence is in here, man. What's up, bro? Thanks for tapping in. We're gonna start probably a weekly show with these guys pretty soon. Him and Randy from No Borders Sports. Steve O Supremo says they also had Bosa crash instead of contain because of RPO. Yeah, partially, man. He was playing a lot of contain, but he was a lot of bull rush. But he was getting there. I liked how he was coming around the edges like just right. He almost gets that safety. So But yeah, it was really hard to defend those RPOs, man. Those zone reads that they were doing over there with Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts. It was tough, man. Especially when our offense is getting no production. When our offense is scoring, it puts more pressure on Jalen Hurts to start passing more. And you guys saw the way the passing game was going for Philadelphia. It would have been good if we could get some points on the board. Jalen Hurts probably starts throwing a lot of interceptions, and then we put the game away. We got a question right here. Four Flames, guys, if you guys could, what do you think about Tyrone Smith from Dallas replacing McGlinchey? So the thing about the right tackle market right now, man, is it seems pretty high up there, guys. So if we're gonna do that, you got to be ready to pay. It just depends who we can get cheaper and for the right production. So it's going to be tough, man. Better in pass protection, definitely Tyrone Smith, but knowing the system, if you can make that happen, make it happen sooner rather than later. That way Tyrone Smith can dive into the playbook. That's what I would think, man. If it happens too late in the offseason, I don't know about that. Philly D says Hurts didn't have to throw. Game was over. Bruh, I literally just got done saying that, Schmeathead. Come on, dude. That's crazy. We still got Eagles fans in here. That shit is weird to me. But yeah, I literally just got done saying that. I don't know. I don't get these guys sometimes, man. I said if the offense could have gotten production. Pedro Valleja says, Wolf, what do you think about Tyrone Smith replacing McGlinchey, or who do you think is a great fit in that position to give our quarterback some time to throw the ball and avoid any more injuries? Man, I do like the way McGlinchey improved in the later stretch of the season. He was coming back from injury. The injury that he was coming off of this past year basically had no offseason. He was rehabbing through the whole offseason. Couldn't do no workouts really or anything. He couldn't put no muscle on. He didn't have time to do anything to prepare physically or physically. So I think if you give McGlinchey time to prepare his body this year and come in strong, he knows the system in and out. He's been a part of this unit, so he has the chemistry with these guys. So I probably would just stick with McGlinchey and groom an up and coming rookie for that position at some point. I wouldn't go and get an expensive right tackle just yet. I don't know, but it's tough, man. I would go and draft a really, really big, great pass protector, and then let him sit behind McGlinchey and develop, and then let them battle it out. Philly D, I just came in and you said if we had to make Hurts throw, you would have threw picks. Oh, shit. My bad. You just came in. You're supposed to be watching the whole time, man. Not supposed to make comments unless you're watching the whole time. Well, okay, so let me see. What was I saying? What was I saying? Something about, basically we're talking about Bosa and the 49ers D-line being able to contain Jalen Hurts, and I was saying it was difficult. I think if we would have been able to force Hurts, if the offense, if we had a quarterback that could have put points on the board to pressure the Philly offense to not be so conservative, right? Because all they had to do was run the ball and play keep away from the 49ers. Like, the 49ers couldn't do anything on offense. If we could have and forced Jalen Hurts to pass the ball, the way it was looking in the game was he was not on point. He was throwing a lot of errant passes that were getting broken up and nearly intercepted. So I think that would have boded well for the 49ers' defense getting interceptions, and we probably could have put the game away. But again, it's the what ifs. It's just if we had a quarterback, we could have put points on the board, but that's not the case. That couldn't happen. But yeah, guys, seems like that's all the comments, questions. We got through the breaking news. Demeco Ryans, best of luck, man. I hope you're successful. Just don't come over here and try and beat the Niners. But yeah, man, best of wishes. Sucks to see you go, but hopefully we could get somebody great in here, man. Hopefully, hey, Vic Fangio, guys. Hopefully in the next coming days, hopefully the 49ers don't got us waiting too long. We'll see what happens with Steve Wilkins as well. Or Steve Wilks, I should say, from the Panthers. The 49ers are looking into him at defensive coordinator as well. But Vic Fangio, let's go, man. You know you want to win. You want to win with the 49ers. You've been here before. You want to do it. Hey, and if anything happens to Kyle Shanahan, you're probably going to get promoted to the head coach. So, Vic Fangio, this is the best place for you. Alpha says, trade Lance, bring in Brady to get Brock heel and learn. Nah, man. I don't think so. I see your logic. I definitely see it. Trey Lance, he's cheap. I mean, I don't know. I don't like Brady's play, man. I don't think it's great for this offense. I think if this offense could play 11 on 11 football, like a quarterback that can run, move around and stuff like that, and work off the play action with deep shots and yards after catch and stuff like that, I think that's way better for this offense. Especially with, we just talked about the liability on the right side of the offensive line being able to pass protect for Brady. He'll probably get hurt too, man. He's getting older and more brittle. He's not getting any younger, man. So I would rather have a young buck like Trey Lance and keep the quarterback room cheap. But if you could just sign Brady on a cheap deal and keep Trey Lance, I'd rather have that than trading Lance. I think Lance is the future, and Brady, maybe you can win one Super Bowl, and then what after that? I want Super Bowls for years. Now, I understand you're talking about grooming Brock Purdy, but how are you going to bench, just off Brock Purdy's performance down the later stretch of the season? How do you bench him? Just for Brady's name? Even with Brady, this offense will probably not perform to the level it did with Brock Purdy as the quarterback. So I don't see it, man. I really don't. Randy Daytona, where's the four flames, my boy, my guy? I'll say my boy and my guy at the same time. My boy. Randy Daytona says he was just saying if we were scoring also hurts. Oh, okay, you're talking to the other guy. Alpha 45 says if he gets Tommy John, he'll be out 9 to 12 months. Yeah, man, but there's a very good possibility that it's only 6 months. So he could be back by training camp. So we got to wait and see. Like I said, that's why. And then even if you sign Brady now, let's see what happens. Sign Brady now. Let him and Trey Lance have the offseason to see what you could do at quarterback. Maybe you start Brady, but I don't know, man. That's tough. And then Brock Purdy's still going to be rehabbing throughout the whole training camp and everything. So then you can go from there and then make your trades from that point. From that standpoint, you make your trades based off what you see in training camp. Wouldn't that be messed up to sign Brady just to trade him later on? Oh my God, that'd be so messed up. What's up, Randy Daytona, my guy? Randy Daytona says a Tommy John surgery is a quicker recovery than ever, and your arm is stronger, as opposed to Rowan Gardner. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the person, man. I've heard conflicting things where people got into Tommy John surgery and then a year later they still feel the effects. So just depends on the person, how seriously you take your rehab process and really attack it, and you take it very seriously. So you just got to wait and see on all that, man. That's what I'm saying. the speculation, like all that is cool and everything. So that's why I say Trey Lance is the guy right now until Brock Purdy proves that he is healthy. He is 100% ready to come back. He's here. And then you let them battle it out, or you just see how Trey Lance is doing and you go based off that. Now, if Tom Brady's here, then, they're all in the mix and you can work off your trades, and you have more, more trade capital than not. Right. So let's just play it as it goes, man. Like, people have complications with surgeries. It's not always, things don't always go as planned. So as we just seen with Jimmy Garoppolo, as we just seen with Trey Lance, as we've seen with Alex Smith, so as we've seen with Javon Kinlaw. So let's just see how it goes, man. Just wish Brock Purdy the best, and looking forward to great things coming forward, man. I'm hoping, I know we're gonna see some guys go, but I'm really excited to see who's all the great talent we're gonna bring in as well. Because this staff for the 49ers, through draft, through trades, through free agent acquisitions, they've really blown the lid off the NFL when it comes to that stuff. That's why our staff, not just our players, we get poached all around as a 49ers franchise. Rob DeArt says, anyone who thinks Brady and Shanahan will work, they were the kid who tried to put the square block in the round hole. It don't fit. Maybe, man, maybe. You saw he went over there and got Bruce Arians fired in Tampa Bay, even after they won a Super Bowl. So we'll see, man. I don't think it, I don't see how it works. Like, how do you make him the starting quarterback over Brock Purdy and Trey Lance? I don't see it. That's like the first thing. Alpha 45 says 49ers need to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster and 2 on the practice squad. Kyle is so negligent with his quarterbacks. Yeah, man. Totally. That's what I'm saying. You got these guys. You got Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. Number 1, number 2. Maybe those are 2 number 1s, you could say. That's why I would like, that'd be cool to bring in a guy like Drew Lock, Gardner Minshew, Cooper Rush, some guys that have experience, but they're not going to take the starting role. They're just going to be really solid depth pieces. Nate Sudfeld, if you could get Nate Sudfeld back, I don't know what kind of contract he has over there in Detroit, but I think he's a free agent. So if you could get Nate Sudfeld back, somebody who knows a system and actually looked to do pretty damn good in the preseason. Brock Purdy beat him out, but that's not to say Nate Sudfeld looked like trash. He was passing pretty well from the pocket. He's a pocket quarterback, not the most mobile. He looks super slow when he does try and run the ball. It was pretty funny, but he has a really good deep ball, better than Brock Purdy, I think, when it comes to the deep ball, deep passing. So I think, he already knows the system. Bring in Nate Sudfeld if you can. Definitely not Josh Johnson. He's shown, whether he's had years to prepare or not, the moment is just way too big for him, man. There's people that just aren't cut for the big time. And Alberto Soto says, would you be stupid to trade Lance? And I do believe Purdy will be out next season until week 10. Very strong possibility, man. I think in my opinion, I don't want to say if it's in your opinion we should trade Lance. I'm not going to call you stupid, but in my opinion, it would be stupid to do that. Like, because I am in favor of him being the starting quarterback until Brock Purdy comes back. Then we kind of go from there and how Trey Lance is performing. So, young quarterback, fraction, like very tiny percentage of the cap space, cap hit for Trey Lance, man. So very young, very cheap, very talented, very everything, man. Outside of very bad. Now, hopefully he's not injury prone. I know that's something that's been brought up, but that could just be a Kyle Shanahan issue. And I think it has been. He's been putting his quarterbacks in not so favorable positions. So he's got to Kyle Shanahan has to protect Trey Lance at all costs. Randy Daytona says, in my opinion, I'm going to close out the show right now, guys. I appreciate all the comments, all the questions, all the love, all the support, but I'm going to cut the show out. I got to get going. I really appreciate you guys, like I said. But Randy Daytona says, in my opinion, this may be the best draft any team in history has ever had. Yes, sir. That's very true. That's what I'm saying. This staff, man, they're on fire. Rand Carthon is out the building, but I think John Lynch, Adam Peters, those are the two main building blocks to the way this team drafts and keeps things together. Bringing in great talent, man. People who nobody would think that would be game changers, and they mold them, they develop them, and they use them in the right way, man. Putting your guys in positions to be successful. The 49ers are very great at that too, man. The Niners will focus on all the players in the later rounds and snag all the gems. Could be a very real possibility. I would like to trade 1 or 2 draft picks for some veteran, for like a veteran at some position group, maybe center. If we don't bring back Jake Brendel, Brunskill might be playing center next year, guys. We might get rid of Brendel. He played better down the stretch, so I would like to keep him so we can have more depth in the O-line, but I'll understand if they just put Daniel Brunskill at center, because he was originally the starting center before he got hurt in the offseason, and then Jake Brendel kind of just took over from there. But yeah, man, I foresee the 49ers taking a lot of really good talent in the later rounds like they've done in the most recent drafts and drafts before. And then, yeah, I'd trade 1 or 2 picks for some veteran savvy, or to move up in the draft, or both. What's up, Brian? What's up, my guy? Thanks for tapping in, bro. Good to see you. And Rob DeArt says, good show, Wolf. See you on the next one. Peace. Hey, peace, man. Hope you guys all have a great day. Appreciate you guys, like I said. And Albert Soto says, one more. What about Marcus Mariota? That would be great. Marcus Mariota, that would be a badass one, guys. I think, like I said, somebody with some veteran savvy. That's he's not the starting quarterback. He's just going to add depth to the quarterback position. But I think Marcus Mariota is going to be a little too expensive. Now, when it comes to his attributes, I would love to get him, but the cost, I don't think is going to fit the 49ers. But still, he's not going to be super overpriced, so I can still see it being a possibility, man. But Albert Soto, that's a great one to bring up, man. Tyrod Taylor would be a good one. Tyrod Taylor, I think he's with the Giants right now. Was it the Giants? Yeah, it was the Giants. Pretty sure. All right, guys. Hope everybody has a great night. Really appreciate you guys tapping in and supporting us. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Not just with me, I would really appreciate it, but with my boy, Big Mac Sports. Big Mac with a K, Sports. 3 words on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel, guys. I appreciate him being on. I'm going to be collaborating him from now through the future. Great to have connected with him. So go sub to him, like his videos, watch his streams, support him, and as well as myself, man. Thank you. We got Guayaba in here. What's up, man? My bad. Says, I think Jason Poe may be the center next year. Niner Gang Wolfcast. Yeah. Hey, that's actually a great point. Jason Poe's another really good one, guys. I was seeing him more as depth at the left guard position, but center was another one that I forgot Jason Poe can play, man. And he's somebody that a lot of people are pointing to be an upcoming center for the 49ers, guys. He's smaller in stature, but man, that dude, that's part of leverage, right? Is being getting down low. So that bodes well for him being able to do that, right? When he lacks in height, he can make up for it with leverage. So yeah, Jason Poe, another good up and coming 49er drafted this past year. Feel really good about him. Zakel, Brunskill, all of those guys. I just hope we can sign Brunskill, man, because he's a Swiss Army knife of the 49ers O-line. We have to keep him. Jason Poe's already, he's signed to the reserve for this upcoming year, so he's going to be here, man. So no matter what Jason Poe plays, I feel good about it. And I do. Maybe him, if they let Jake Brendel go, they might let Poe and Brunskill battle it out for the center position. Because I know Brunskill wants to be a starter, man. He wants to be a starter. And if the 49ers sign him, if they sign him to a contract, I think that's going to be a very good indication that he's going to be a starter. You know, you don't just sign somebody to be backup. So I think Brunskill is going to be the center. Will go possibly with Jason Poe being the next rotational piece. The next Daniel Brunskill. But we'll see. We'll see, guys. Ryan Culp says, I hope they sign Gold. It would be cool, man. Good as gold. So they call him for a reason. I think somebody said it earlier in the comments that he said the 49ers have unfinished business. So it sounds like he wants to stick around. And he needs to take a hometown discount, man. He needs to understand the situation. Hey, you want a ring? You want to stay here? You want to say there's unfinished business? You have to take a pay cut, bro. We gave you a great contract last time around. Now you got to take the hometown discount. You got to take one for the team because we got to keep this team together, guy. But yeah, I don't want Gold to go, but if he's too expensive, if he's not willing to come down at all, sayonara, bro. Sorry, man. He's getting up there in age too, man, so he can't overprice himself. But yeah, guys. Brian Culp says, great show, Wolfcast. Hey, appreciate you, man, as always. And everybody, I appreciate you. Everybody have a great night. I know I said it a million times already, but we're signing off now. You guys been jumping in with the great comments and questions. So I appreciate you. And let me know if you guys want to have a call-in show or anything. Continue to tap in. You guys take care. Go Niners.